the Pontianak'S cry. I remember the smell of rain-soaked earth first. It was always there, clinging to everything in Kampung Batang, that tiny village tucked deep in the palm oil groves on the Malaysian-Indonesia border. Back in the early 80s, before the power lines snaked their way in and ruined the quiet, life moved slow, like the mud on the dirt paths after a downpour. We'd light our kerosene lamps at dusk, the flames flickering like hesitant ghosts against the wooden walls of our stilt houses. My name's Iwell. It was back then. I'm 18 now, or I was when it all started, living with IBU in our little shack on the edge of the forest, where the banana groves pressed in like uninvited neighbors. It was ordinary, you know? I'd wake up to the roosters, help IBU with the laundry down by the stream, and spend afternoons weaving mats from pandanus leaves. The village wasn't much, maybe 50 families, all Malay folk who'd crossed the border generations ago, scratching out a living from the oil palms and the occasional rubber tap. No cars, just bicycles and the occasional ox cart. The paths were rutted, always slick with red mud that sucked at your sandals. And the forest, God, the forest. It wasn't just trees, it was alive, breathing, palms rustling in the wind, and those damn banana plants everywhere, their broad leaves slapping together like wet hands clapping. The elders said they hid things, spirits, mostly Pontianak'S, they called them, women who died in childbirth, coming back hungry for revenge. We laughed it off during the day, but at night, you'd swear you heard it. The baby's cry, faint and far off, carried on the humid breeze. That first night, it was just a sound. I was lying on my mat, the kerosene lamp turned low, its wick sputtering like it was on its last breath. Ibu was already asleep across the room, her snores soft and rhythmic. The air was thick, the kind of sticky heat that makes your skin prickle. Crickets were screaming outside, a chorus that never quit, and then there it was, a wail, high and thin, like a newborn's first breath, but twisted, echoing from the banana groves. I sat up, heart thumping. Ibu, I whispered, but she didn't stir. Probably a monkey, I told myself, or one of the village cats in heat. I pulled the thin blanket over my head and waited for it to fade. It did, eventually, dissolving into the insect hum. But sleep didn't come easy after that. The next morning, I mentioned it to Ibu over our nasi lemak simple rice, steamed in coconut milk, with ikan bilis and sambal she'd made from scratch. You hear that cry last night? I asked, poking at the dried anchovies. She paused, her hands wrinkling the edges of her What cry? Cyan. Her eyes were sharp, though too sharp, like she knew but wouldn't say. Nothing, I muttered, changing the subject to the laundry. But as I trudged down the path to the stream, basket balanced on my hip, I couldn't shake it. The banana leaves rustled as I passed, and for a second, I smelled something sweet frangipani, heavy and cloying, like the flowers we strung for funerals. There weren't any frangipani trees nearby, just palms and bananas. Imran found me there, knee-deep in the murky water, scrubbing at a stain on one of Ibu's bajuk. He was from the village center, tall and quiet, with that easy smile that made the other girls giggle behind their hands. We'd grown up together chasing fireflies as kids, stealing mangoes from Pak Ali's tree, but lately, his eyes lingered. Morning, Ayu, he said, squatting on the bank, his feet dangling in the mud. He had a machete slung over his shoulder, fresh from tapping palms. You look tired. Bad dreams. I splashed water at him, laughing to cover the knot in my stomach. Just the usual, ghosts in the groves. He chuckled, but it didn't reach his eyes. Heard the cry again. My laugh died. How did you? Everyone did. Old Maxik Fatima's been muttering about it all week. Says it's the Pontianak'S stirring. He leaned closer, voice dropping. But don't worry, Pak Rahman's got charms. He'll sort it. Pak Rahman was our Bomo, the village shaman, bent and wrinkled like old leather, always muttering incantations over betel nut chews. Imran's hand brushed mine as he helped me wring out a shirt, and I felt that familiar warmth. He liked me, I knew, more than liked. But in a place like this, where matches were arranged like palm harvests, it felt like tempting fate. That afternoon, as the sun dipped low and painted the groves in bloody orange, I went to fetch water from the communal well. The path wound past the old graveyard, overgrown with ferns and those cursed banana plants. The air hummed with cicadas, but underneath it, that cry lingered in my memory like an itch I couldn't scratch. That's when I saw it, a flower, a single white frangipani, petals bruised at the edges, lying on the path like it had been dropped. I picked it up, the scent hitting me full for sweet rot, like overripe fruit left in the sun. No trees around. I tossed it away, but my fingers tingled where it had touched. By evening, the village buzzed, not with excitement, but but that low murmur of fear, like wind through dry leaves. Families huddled closer to their lamps, doors bolted early. Imran came by our house with a bundle of rattan, an excuse to sit on the veranda and talk. Ibu eyed him suspiciously, but let him stay for tea. "The cries are getting closer," he said, stirring his cup. "Last night, it was right outside Pak Ali's. He swears he saw eyes red, glowing like embers in the bananas." I shivered, though the night was warm. Ibu snorted from inside. "Superstition. It's jackals, that's all." But her voice cracked, just a little. We sat there as darkness fell, the kerosene light pooling around us like spilled oil. The crickets started up, relentless, and then the cry. Closer this time, not from the groves but from the edge of our yard. A baby's wail, desperate and raw, cutting through the night like a knife. Imran's hand found mine under the table, squeezing tight. "Stay inside," he whispered, but I couldn't move. It sounded ... hungry, like it was calling for something. For me, I didn't sleep that night. Every rustle outside had me bolting upright, peering through the slats in the walls. At dawn, I found scratches on the stilts long, jagged lines like claws had raked them, and petals, frangipani petals, scattered like confetti from a nightmare wedding. The next few days blurred into a haze of whispers and warnings. Maxik Fatima cornered me at the market stall, her gums red from beetle. "It's Suri," she hissed, eyes darting to the forest. "The one from 52. Married that no-good trader from across the border, got herself pregnant, and he left her flat, died screaming in the mud, baby born. Now she wanders, looking for what she lost." Suri, I'd heard the stories as a child how her ghost haunted the banana groves, luring men with her beauty before ripping them open with nails like scythes. But Maxik's version was worse. "She doesn't just take men anymore," she said, voice dropping to a rasp. "She wants babies, to replace her own. Snatches them from cradles if you're not careful." I laughed it off, had to, or I'd scream. But that night, the cry came again, right under the house this time, bubbling up from the mud like it was rising from the earth itself. Ibu bolted the door, but I heard it, not just a wail, but words woven in, faint and Malay. "ANAK ... ANAKKU ... my child, my child." I pressed my ear to the floorboards, heart hammering, and then, the smell. Frangipani, thick as fog, seeping through the cracks. The next morning, little Amir from down the path vanished. Just 2 years old, toddling after his mother in the yard. She turned for a second, gone. The village erupted. Men with torches combed the groves, machetes flashing in the lamplight. Imran was there, face grim, sweat cutting tracks through the mud on his cheeks. "They found his sandal," he told me later, voice hollow, "in the bananas, covered in petals." Pak Ramon was summoned, hobbling out with his bundle of herbs and a chicken for sacrifice. He chanted over the well, smoke curling from his censer, but his eyes old and milky kept flicking to me, like he saw something. That night, Imran snuck over after Ibu slept. We sat on the veranda, knees touching, his arm around my shoulders. "I won't let it take you," he murmured, but his voice shook. The cry started early, closer than ever, and with it came the wind rattling the banana leaves like labored breaths. Gasp, ... gasp ... like something dying. I buried my face in his shirt, inhaling his scent of sweat and palm sap. But underneath it, frangipani bloomed again, sweet, insistent. Then she appeared. It was just a shape at first, in the moonless dark beyond the lamps. A woman, swaying at the edge of the yard, white sarong fluttering like a shroud. Her hair hung long and black, veiling her face, but her hands, God, her hands, long fingers tipped with nails like curved knives, glinting faintly. She tilted her head, and the cry poured from her. Not angry, but ... pleading. ANAK ... double quotes. The wind picked up, banana leaves whispering secrets, and she stepped closer. Imran froze beside me. "Run," he whispered, but my legs wouldn't move. She smelled of flowers and decay, and as she lifted her hair, I saw her eyes red, twin coals burning in the night. I screamed. Imran yanked me inside, slamming the door, but her nails scraped the wood screech, like they were carving her name into our home. The cry turned to laughter then, high and broken, echoing until dawn. When the sun rose, she was gone, but the scratches they formed letters. SURI. Ibu found me, curled on the mat, shaking. "It's nothing," she lied, her face pale as rice, but I saw the way she clutched her old photo album, hidden under her pillow. That afternoon, while she napped, I pulled it out, faded pictures of a young woman, laughing, beautiful, with my eyes, captioned in Ibu's neat script, "Suri and me, 1950, sisters." My aunt, the Pontianak was family. The realization hit like a slap. All those stories, the warnings, they weren't just tales. Suri was blood, and as I stared at her photo, something stirred in me, a pull, deep in my gut, like hunger. That night, the cry called my name. AYU ... ANAKKU ... I went to Pakraman the next day, slipping through the village, while everyone mourned little Amir. His hut reeked of incense and dried blood, walls hung with talismans, bits of mirror to shatter spirits, thorns to pierce their hearts. He was chewing betel, red juice staining his beard. When I burst in, "It's Suri," I gasped. "She's my aunt, Ibu's sister." His eyes narrowed, milky but sharp. "Ah, child, the curse runs in the blood. She died betrayed. Husband fled when the pains came, left her in the mud to birth alone. The baby, twisted, stillborn. Now she seeks vessels, men for their seed, women for their wombs, and children ... He trailed off, spitting red, to fill the cradle. "But why me?" My voice cracked. He leaned forward, breath hot and herbal. "Because you're next, are you? The blood calls to blood. If you carry life, or even dream of it ... Double quotes. He glanced at my flat belly, and I flushed, thinking of Imran's touches. "She'll claim you, turn you into her, unless we break it." The ritual, he said, was old Preslamic, whispered from the Orang Osli. We'd need a lock of Sori's hair from the old grave, my blood, and Imran Sida's anchor, to bind the living to the dead. "He loves you," Pakraman said, not a question. "That makes him key." I nodded, stomach churning, but as I left, banana leaves rustled behind me, and I swear I heard breathing mine, or hers. Imran agreed without hesitation. "Whatever it takes," he said that night, holding me in the shadows of the veranda. We met Pakraman at midnight by the graveyard, the air thick with mist from the swamps. The old man had dug up a splinter of bone Suri's, yellowed and cracked from her unmarked plot. We stood in a circle, lamps flickering, the banana groves encircling us like silent witnesses. Pakraman chanted in a tongue like cracking branches, slicing my palm and Imran's, mingling our blood over the bone. "Bind the curse," he intoned. "Sever the thread." Imran's part came last. In the dim light, with the Bomo's back turned, he pulled me close. It was quick, fumbling his hands on my skin, urgent and afraid. Heat bloomed between us, a promise or a trap, and as he spilled into me, the wind howled. The cry erupted, closer than ever, and she was there, Shori, materializing from the mist. Not veiled this time. Her face was porcelain pale, lips black as beetle stains, eyes red and weeping blood. "Anaku," she moaned, reaching with those claws, but her gaze locked on me, not Imran. Recognition, kinship. Pak Raymond's chant faltered. The bone glowed in the lamplight, faint, pulsing like a heartbeat. Suri lunged, nails raking the air inches from my throat. I felt the wind of it, smelled her frangipani rot. Imran shoved me aside, machete raised, but she laughed at. Broken Kakaland, swiped. Blood sprayed, hot and coppery. His arm hung open, flesh peeled back to bone. He screamed, dropping, and she turned to me, hair whipping like serpents. "Join me," said the daughter. "The cradle waits." Something snapped in me then, not fear hunger. My nails itched, lengthening in the shadows, and I tasted salt on my tongue, like tears or blood. The pull, the blood call, it surged, whispering, "Take the child, make it yours." I stepped forward, hand outstretched, not to fight, but to embrace. Pakraman hurled the bone at her feet, shattering it, and the ground trembled. Mist boiled up from the swamps, banana leaves thrashing like they'd come alive. Suri shrieked, body unraveling into smoke, but her eyes stayed red, boring into mine. "You can't run from the womb," she hissed, voice echoing in my skull. "It's in you now." The ritual broke. She vanished with the mist, the cry fading to a whimper. Imran groaned, clutching his arm, blood soaking the earth. Pakraman bound the wound with rags, muttering prayers. "It's done," he said, but his eyes said otherwise. We staggered home as dawn grayed the sky, the village stirring to find us bloodied and wild-eyed. Little Amir was never found, no body, just rumors of a bundle in the swamps, rocking in the current. Weeks passed, the cries stopped, or so they said. Imran healed, his arm scarred like a map of veins, and he held me tighter, whispering of escape crossing the border, starting fresh in a city with lights and no groves. I smiled, nodded, but at night, alone, the frangipani came, not outside, but in dreams. I'd wake with petals on my pillow, soft and bruised, and my nails longer, sharper, filed down by morning, but remembered. Ibu confessed one rainy afternoon, rain hammering the tin roof like impatient fingers. She was my sister, yes, but more. When she died, the midwife said the baby moved after, cursed. I took you in IU, but not as niece, as her echo, to watch, to wait. Her eyes were wet, guilty. I thought the blood skipped a generation. It didn't. Lately, the hunger grows. Imran's touches stir it now. Not love, but need. A craving for the swell, the life inside. Last night, as thunder rolled, I heard the cry again. Not from the groves, but from within my own voice, wailing in the mirror. My reflection smiled back, hair longer, eyes flickering red in the lamplight. And outside, the banana leaves breathe with me. Gasp ... gasp ... Imran sleeps beside me now, oblivious. But when he stirs, touches my belly flat still. But waiting, I wonder, is it his child I'll carry, or hers, ours? The village whispers of another missing babe, down by the stream. They blame Suri, but as I slip out at dusk, drawn to the groves, petals crumbling in my fist, I feel her smile. The curse isn't broken, it's waking, and tonight, the wind calls my name.